New Albany goes on the road. Men's basketball on Saturday night. 7-point victory at Stony Brook to go above 500 in conference play. The head coach is Will Brown, and he joins us here, as always, on the Monday show on Big Board Sports 104.5 at Team ESPN Radio. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Raj. How we doing?
Good, man. How you doing? Hey, did you hear me yell, by the way, in the bus on the way home? Did you hear what happened?
No.
Well, I was dreaming, and I thought,
dreaming?
I was sound asleep in a coma, and I thought that our bus, and I sit about 3 seats behind Coach Brown, right next to Coach Knotts, and I thought the bus was veering off the side of the road was my dream. So I literally sat up in my seat and yelled out, "We're off the road." And I think I might have thrown some other word before that in there that I can't use on the radio. And Knotts looks at me and goes, "Raj, what? I said, "We're off the road." He goes, "No, we're not off the road. Go back to sleep. We're not off the road." I said, "All right, fine."
I must have been in a deeper sleep than you.
You must have been in a deeper coma than I was.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway, it was a late night, but it's easier on those bus rides home when you come up with a victory. And you were down by 12 in the first half. You were down at halftime, and then you must have given David Nichols the wake-up call at halftime because he came out and scored all 14 of his points in the second half.
Yeah, I thought the key for us was the run in the last 2 minutes to get it to 6. It's a 2-possession game at halftime. 4 minutes into the game, I didn't like David's mindset, his energy or lack thereof, and we had turned the ball over, and 4 guys sprinted back on defense while they were in transition. And David did not. And, I just, like I said, my expectations for him are through the roof. And he's the point guard, needs to be an extension of the coach on the floor. I didn't like his mindset and, how he was playing. So I sat him for the last 16 minutes of the first half. And, you have to send a message. One game's not going to make or break a season. It's about the long term. And I simply asked him at halftime, I said, do you want to play, with the rest of your teammates? And he said, I do. I said, well, then you need to get your act together and start being a leader, start playing the way we need you to play. And whether things are going well or they're going poorly, we need the same effort, the same focus. And, I think he was upset. Whatever motivates you. But I thought he came out and played with great energy and purpose in the second half. And, I thought he did a really nice job.
Yep, ends up with 14 points, made like back-to-back threes and then a 2-point shot. He had
12 straight at one point.
Yeah, he just ripped off a bunch of points in like a 2-minute span. And the next thing you know, you're going, okay, this might be a good second half because you need David Nichols, the good David Nichols, on the court if you're going to win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I thought the Cremo sequence that you're talking about, Coach, right at the end of the first half, Cremo makes a block on one end and then comes down and I'm pretty sure it was a 3 that he nailed, and that gave you some momentum going into halftime. And it was a big win because it gets you above 500, and also you have a week off now to prepare for New Hampshire Big Purple Growl on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, it was a good win. I think we held them to 18 points in the second half. I think we're starting to figure it out a little bit, defensively. We weren't great offensively, but we went on the road and we held the team to 50 points in a rivalry game. I mean, sold-out crowd, tough place to play, and, we found a way to win. We would have lost that game a couple of weeks ago, for sure. So I think the last 3 games, in particular, UMBC, at Vermont, and Stony Brook, I think we've really defended. The first half at Vermont, we didn't finish possessions, but the second half we were good defensively. So, I think our guys are understanding, hey, if we defend and rebound, and as long as we don't turn that thing over offensively, we can beat anybody on our schedule. It's just the consistent focus and mindset. But, I was pleased because we were in a bad place in the first half. Arguably our most talented player, sitting on the bench because I wasn't happy with him. And, the guys stuck together, found a way to get it done. Now we have a little bit of a breather, which I think we need. We don't play again until Saturday in the Purple Growl. And so this will be a good week for us to kind of take a deep breath, maybe, replenish the tank a little bit, and get ready for this, to finish off the back end of conference play.
Will, when you sat David down 4 minutes into the first half, and I'm sure it isn't the first time you've done it with a player in your time at Albany, did you know that you wouldn't put him back in the game in that first half, and did David know it too? I mean, or did you kind of just let him hang on the ledge there, wondering whether or not he'd go back in?
Oh, I let him hang on the ledge, for sure. For me, I didn't know if I was going to play him again that game. And, my staff, they do what good assistants are supposed to do, every couple of minutes. They had a little scheme going. Every couple of minutes, they would take a turn and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Coach, what about David? And I would just turn, say no. By the time the third guy tapped me on the shoulder, I said no with a few other choice words, as Roger said, not made for radio. But I knew I wasn't going to play him the rest of the first half. We got down double digits, and I didn't even think about playing him again at halftime. Again, the staff doing what they're supposed to do. What are you going to do with David? And my initial reaction was I'm not going to play him the rest of the game. And then when I calmed down and cooled off, I'm like, you know what? Let me see if he wants to play the rest of the game, because I think that's a question a kid never wants to hear from a coach. Hey, do you even want to play? And I don't think David liked that question. And he looked me in the eye and, said yes. And, I said, are you going to go out there and, play with some fire and, lead this team? And, he said yes. And, I know he was clearly frustrated, but, sometimes it's good for you to sit back and watch what's going on and reflect what's going on. And when you're not out there with your teammates, and that's where you want to be, it can be really frustrating. And, I'm sure he was frustrated, but I thought, he came out in the second half, and I thought he was focused. I thought he was a good teammate, and I thought he played well, and he gave us a tremendous spark offensively, which we needed. And, the rest is history. It's not something as a coach that you enjoy doing, but I think it also clearly sends a message to the other 13 guys that one guy is not bigger than the team, and it doesn't matter who it is. If you're not playing at the level and behaving at the level that you need to be, you're not going to play. And, so I think message sent. I think David understood. I think the team, I thought we played really hard without David. I just don't think we played well, especially offensively. And, but like I said, you don't enjoy doing it, but sometimes you have to put your foot down and do it. And, it worked out for us.
Well, Coach, congrats on the win. New Hampshire next up, and a chance for you to, continue to move up the standings. I think all roads lead to Burlington, but now it's a matter of, can you finish in second, third, fourth, get the home court, and, maybe get 3 cracks at Vermont, and then you don't know what's going to happen with Vermont the rest of the year either, but I don't know how many games they're going to lose.
Come on, Roger. Most still lose 1.
Yeah.
And, my mindset right now is let's just worry about us right now. And, if we do what we're supposed to do and, play to the level that we're capable of, hopefully we will get a third opportunity. But, you want to finish as high as you can. We're 17-7 right now, and there's days where you feel like the earth is crumbling. I think there's a lot of teams out there that would trade places with us. We put ourselves, unfortunately, in this position, and there's no reason why we can't get ourselves out of this position, and we fully expect to.
Coach, thanks for a few minutes. We'll see you later on this afternoon for the taping of the UAlbany men's basketball coaches show from the showroom at Mohawk Honda.
Yeah, I'm not too sure we're going to take you on too many more road trips if you're dreaming out loud.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Knots about that when I hang up the phone.
Yeah, ask Knots about that because I think he looked at me like I had what are you talking about? And I'm trying to talk him.
It must have been that ice cream that we bought you.
Yeah, maybe that was it. No, it was actually before the ice cream. So
you were really struggling.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys. Take care.